James, it's my understanding that your favorite holiday over all other holidays is New Year's. What's up with that?
Well, I feel like it's a holiday that doesn't require a lot of pressure. Like we're not worrying about gifts or decorations, but we get so excited thinking about what's to come and all the changes that are going to be happening in our lives. So it's just a great time to celebrate.
Makes sense. And it's actually a really good thing that you're here today. And we're so glad that you're here for the very first episode of 2023, because today we're talking about making small changes here in our hearts that can make some huge changes in our lives.
Welcome, everyone, to Hope Church Online. My name is James, and we are so glad that you're here.
We are so glad that you're here. My name's Nathan. Thank you so much for joining us for our first service in 2023. Happy New Year to you, and to you, James.
And a Happy New Year to you. So everyone asks this question every year. So we hopefully are the first ones to ask you, but what was your favorite part of 2022? Tell us in the chat, please. And Nathan, while they're answering, why don't you tell us what your favorite part of 2022 is?
Clearly, it was hiring my friend James here at Hope Church. Really, really glad that you and your wife, Courtney, are here at Hope Church. Personally, one of my favorite parts of 2022 was going on vacation with my wife's whole family, and I got to make some really special memories with my wife and kids. How about you?
That's awesome. If you guys can't tell, I'm losing my voice because one of my highlights of 2022 was going to a Packers game and they won, which was rare in 2022. So, take those wins when you have them. But ultimately, my favorite part of 2022 was that we got to move to the greatest state in America. My wife and I are very happy to be a part of Hope Church, but we're also happy to be here in Wisconsin. We're absolutely loving it. So.
Yeah, welcome, man. So new to Wisconsin. And hey, if you're newer here at Hope Church, we'd love a chance to meet you. We know you might not be ready for that yet, and that's okay. But if at any point during the service you do want to get connected or have some questions answered, you can type new in the chat or text the number on the screen. We'd love to follow up with you, and we also even have a thank you gift just to say thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your precious time with us here today.
In a few minutes, you're going to hear a message that is all about this new year. We're going to be talking about how making small changes in here can lead to a massive impact in our world. But before we get to that message, we wanted to share with you a very special story of a family that unfortunately had to move away from the greatest state. We were all so sad when people have to leave, but they are still having a huge impact here at Hope Church.
So I'm Jeff, and we live in Roanoke, Virginia. Previously, we lived in Brookfield, so in the Milwaukee area.
I'm Steph. We've been going to Hope almost a year, and we found Hope online, so we did a few services online first.
Kind of liked what we saw online, so that was a different experience for us coming from a conservative church background.
And then we went to in-person. And then when we moved to Roanoke, we were able to continue to attend online services. So that's been really nice to kind of take our church with us. For me, it was just that ability to reconnect with the joy in my faith, that it really restored that. And that was something that had been missing for me.
I really was looking for something that was more specific as to what is my role as a Christian and what is my role to go out and take the gospel. And I felt like that was missing. So in going to Hope, that was some of what I saw when we first started doing the online services last year. And then in person, really felt like I had that connection where it's obvious where Hope's focus is not internal, but more from a how do we get the gospel out? And that was what really the connection for me was. The way it's handled and set up, when you're online, you really do feel like you're participating in the service, and the service is directed as much to you as it is to the people in the room. So
yeah. Well, it is nice to hear how other people got to where they are. It kind of gives you a different perspective sometimes, but it's also affirming that you're you're all kind of walking through this journey together, even though you're in different places.
I'm an analytical person that's not always in touch with what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling about things. But Pathways really helped me to go back and look and figure out what was my faith journey? Why am I where I'm at today? And that was extremely beneficial from a faith standpoint to reaffirm what it was I was looking for and why I feel like I found it in hope, and as well as just what is my role as a Christian. So in the past, in our other congregations that we belonged to, we wouldn't have necessarily felt comfortable inviting people. And now we feel very comfortable with that idea of inviting them to a service at Hope, whether it's online or in person, and that they're going to feel comfortable and it's going to help lead them to God. It's not going to put a barrier up for them to even want to be there.
Well, Nathan, as you know, I love online ministry. It's what I do here day in and day out. But thank you so much, Altims, for sharing such an incredible story. And if you could all just say thank you in the chat for them, we're just so grateful that we had so many outlets and so many different resources here at Hope Church to continue the mission and vision of hope.
It's incredible to see what God is doing in the hearts and lives of people here at Hope, online and in person. And so much ministry is possible here because of the generosity of so many of you. And if you would like to jump on board and help financially support the mission here at Hope, you can text any dollar amount to 84321 or give on our website, hopelakecountry.com/give.
It is now time for the message, so we're going to send you over to Pastor Sean. But don't go anywhere afterwards because Nathan and I have just a little bit more for you.
Happy New Year from Hope Church. My name is Sean. I'm one of the pastors on staff, and welcome to our online service, January 1st, 2023. Did you know that the ancient Babylonians were the first group of people to have New Year's resolutions? In fact, two of them were very important. One was return any item that you had borrowed from a friend and pay off your debts. You can imagine 4,000 years ago, Mr. Ancient Babylonian walking begrudgingly to his next door neighbor's house and saying, "Do you remember that clay tablet I borrowed 11 months ago? Well, it's the new year and I felt like I should bring it back to you." But there was a more advanced reason behind the resolutions, and that was to find favor with the gods and to have a blessed year because of paying off debt and returning things that you had borrowed. In our own time, people have New Year's resolutions every year on January 1st. And the most common three are people want to exercise more, lose weight, and become more organized in life. Three great, fantastic resolutions for anybody who has wanted to feel healthier or someone who'd like a little bit more time because life's in disarray and things aren't maybe as planned and organized as they would like. But only about 9% of people are successful each year with their resolutions. And I wondered why that was. And as I thought about it, it became clear. I think the first reason why people aren't successful with resolutions is because the timing couldn't be worse. We just finished Thanksgiving and the Christmas seasons. People have been off work and the emails have been piling up. Students are getting ready to go back to school. Life is kind of chaotic right now, and people want to make this big transformation in their lives with health and with just order. But I think there's another reason why resolutions fail for many, many people, and that's because there's a fixation, there's this desire to change this, all of the outside, because the world tells us we need to look a certain way, or we need to achieve this in our life, or we need to be a certain way in our organization so we can have more time for making ourselves feel and look better. But all the consumption and activity outside ignores the fact that in here, in our heart. We're in disarray. We have things that are broken. We have aspects about us that we don't particularly like. And here's the thing. Whether you lose 50 pounds or gain 50 pounds, I don't think Satan really cares. But if we lose 50 pounds because we believe we have to compare ourselves to another, or we have to look a certain way to achieve some type of status, and we're filled with this pride to be something that maybe we don't feel like we need to be, and yet the world tells us that, Satan loves to live in that confusion and that worry, that anxiety. And yet, if we gain 50 pounds because we have a lack of self-worth, or we doubt who we are, or we're fearful of what life has thrown at us, that we lose track of our health and the ability to stay organized, well, Satan likes to live there too. He likes to live in the places that make us ask ourselves, why? Why is this important? If Jesus was asked about New Year's resolutions, I think he would start in here and say, in the kingdom of heaven, what happens inside of you here is what's important, what's meaningful. When Jesus was gathered with a large group of his disciples in the 13th chapter of Matthew's gospel, he was in a boat, and all of these people were around him on the shore. And Matthew, one of the biographers of Jesus, writes that Jesus told them a parable. And in the parable, he said, "The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches." He told them still another parable. "The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough." This is a mustard seed. You can't even see it. I could throw this on the floor and nobody would even notice that it was there. And yet Jesus says that this little mustard seed planted in the soil becomes a tree that's so large that birds will come and rest in its branches. People say that mustard seeds can grow trees that are 20, 30 feet tall. This is about a half a pound of yeast. I could take this yeast and fling it on the ground outside, and no one would probably even notice or care what it was. And yet, if I had a 100-quart Hobart mixer and 60 pounds of flour, I could add this yeast, and with a dough hook about the size of my leg and some other basic ingredients, I could transform it into enough bread to feed an entire auditorium filled at Hope Church. Little things have big impact in the kingdom of God. Can you imagine if you had just a little seed of change in here? What it could grow into, what it could become, what could be held up by what grew there? Or a little starter of hope in your life that begins here inside, and that mixed with the enormity of God's love and goodness, it could be transformed into something nourishing and life-giving to others. And you say to yourselves, wow, that would be incredible. That would be something that would really be a resolution that I could latch onto and that I could do. How do I do that? Well, I can offer something today for you that might be a way to kickstart this new year. Something that is a prayer and a chance to grow close to God that could change your entire 2023. Something so easy, something so simple. No gym membership required, no eating broccoli for an entire year. Something that could just become part of your daily life that could grow you closer to the Father who loves you and transform in you into a sense the kingdom that is here in your midst. I think this could be a prayer that people could pray as they travel to work in their car or brush their teeth. It's a prayer that students could use before a test. It's a prayer that parents and children could do together before bed. As I said, something simple, something that doesn't take a lot of time, something that doesn't need to be scheduled, but something with the power to create massive, tremendous, profound, and radical change in your life and in your relationship with God. And here it is. I'm going to lay it out for you, and then we're actually going to practice it together. It's about 2 minutes long, and it uses the word of our church, hope. And if we take the 4 letters in the word hope, we can create almost a prayer out of each letter that takes about 30 seconds per letter. And so here, let me demonstrate it to you. We're going to start with H, and the word for H is here, as in here I am, Lord. O is going to be open. Open my heart, Lord. Open my mind, open my ears and my eyes to your wonder today. P is going to be prepare. Prepare me today, Lord, for the challenges, the ups and downs, the unexpected that happens. Prepare me also for the happiness, the joys, the excitement that come. E is for equip. Equip my heart, Lord, to love those that I encounter today who I may not find lovable. Or equip me today to do your will at the times that I find it to be a struggle and a challenge. So all in all, it could look something like this. Some deep breaths, some preparation. Here I am, Lord, I'm in your presence, and I come to you today with my prayer. And to open my heart to your goodness and to your love, and prepare me for those challenges that I have, and equip my heart to love others the way that you love me. And in order to do this and to practice it yourselves, we're actually going to have a video following this message. And it's 2 minutes long, and it'll be a chance for you to use those words as they represent the name of our church, Hope. Hear, open, prepare, equip. What do you think 2023 could look like if you spent some time each day meditating on these words, meditating and being close to God? Could it be a little seed that transforms into something grand? Could it be a little yeast that mixed with a newfound presence of God in your life that could transform your entire outlook and change not only what's in here, but also the things outside? Right now, we're going to actually do this exercise together. We're going to listen to a 2-minute song where you can use those words to enter into a time of prayer with God. But please use this as you go about every day this year, 365 days, and what that could mean and transform in your life. Something small, something that just is a little starter to bring forth a new relationship and profound time of closeness with the God who loves you very much. We have a new series that begins 1 week from today on January 8th. It's called Recovery Road. Please come check it out or watch it online. You will love it. Happy New Year, everyone, and may you have a wonderful Sunday and time with those around you.
How I live for the moments where I'm still in your presence. All the noise dies down. Lord, speak to me now. My heart wants something new, so I surrender all. All I want is to live within your love, being done by who you are. My desire is to know you deeper. Lord, I will open up again, throw my fears into the wind. I am desperate for a touch of heaven. Ooh, all I want is to live within your love, being done by who you are. My desire is to know you deeper. Lord, I will open up again, throw my fears into the wind. I am desperate for a touch of heaven. Ooh,
Sean, thank you so much for that great message, and what an easy application to apply to our lives every day. So
Yep.
I'm excited to try that out. Listen, you guys, you do not want to miss our next series starting on the 8th. It's going to be incredible. It's called Recovery Road, and we put this together because we've kind of drained our emotional reserves because of all the things we've had to deal with the last couple of years. Let's see, we've had to deal with issues around vaccines, masks, quarantines. There were political issues, social issues, protests, riots. There was a war. That list goes on, and I haven't even touched the stuff that you've had to deal with personally. So you don't want to miss this series because we're going to help you refuel those emotional reserves.
It's going to be powerful. And speaking of that new series, starting January 8th, we have new service times, so we don't want you to miss that. It's 8, 9:30, and 11 a.m. The 9:30 service is the one that will be live streamed for all you online folks.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great year here at Hope Church. We cannot wait to experience it with all of you. But that's it for Nathan and I, so we will see you all next week.